Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. All right, yes. The doctor also plays Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I've been playing Pathfinder 1st Edition since about the second year of Pathfinder 1st Edition. So if you didn't know, there's been 2 editions of Pathfinder out, and we switched over to Pathfinder 2nd Edition about 4 years ago. So I know everybody tracks things that happened before COVID and things that happened after COVID. So Pathfinder 2 came around essentially about a year before COVID. And I'd play a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Played a lot of Pathfinder 1st Edition as well, and I'm here to talk to you today about so you want to play Pathfinder, and I'm gonna give you a couple of basics about 3 different things in Pathfinder 2nd Edition that are a little bit different than Pathfinder 1st Edition, and major differences between other gaming systems like Dungeons and Dragons. And I really like these mechanics that they put into Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I think they give it a lot of flavor, a lot of spice, and a lot of depth. So the first thing that we want to talk about is the critical success system. So in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and this is something I really like, and you see I've got my little rating monitor on the side. All of these I give an A+. I think these are awesome, and there really isn't a superior for game mechanics per se, but I really give them an A+. So the first one we're going to talk about is the mechanic of a critical success and a critical failure. So in Dungeons and Dragons, a critical success is not really a thing. You can get a critical hit, which is a 20. If you roll a 20, you can miss. There really isn't such thing as a critical failure, but you can miss on a 1. With saving throws, you get a 20 and you automatically make it, but if you get a 1, you don't automatically miss it. In Pathfinder 2, everything is based off of a success. It's a check that you get a success or a failure, a critical success or a critical failure. So it starts out critical failure is a 1. A failure is not meeting the difficulty number. A success is beating the number, and a critical success is getting more than 10 of the number. So critical failure is 10 or less. A failure is less. A success is more, and a critical success is 10 or more. So there's this effect that if you get a result that's more than that's 10 or more than the check you needed, the number you needed, then that is a critical success. So let's say the number is 15. If you get a 5 or less, that's 10 less than what you need. That's a critical failure. If you get a 6 through a 14, that's a failure. If you get a 15 to a 24, that is a success. And if you get a 25 and above, that is a critical success. This also applies to 2 hit rolls. So if you are going up against something that has an armor class of 18, and it's basically the same concept. You have to beat that number to hit them. However, you don't have to get a 20 to critically hit them. If they have an armor class of 18 and you get a 28 on your 2 hit roll, then you have crit them, and you will do double damage. Everything gets doubled, not just dice in Pathfinder 2e. Everything gets doubled. Your sneak attack damage, like precision type damage like that doesn't get doubled, but everything else gets doubled. All the bonuses, all the dice of the weapon, all that gets doubled, and you can do a ton of damage that way. So again, let's use let's say we've got somebody who's got a plus 15 to hit, and we've got something that has a armor class of 18, so we just need to get a 13 or better, and we've crit them. We don't need to get a 20 to crit. However, if you miss them by more than 10, that's a critical failure. For hitting, there really isn't an effect for a critical failure. I mean, it's an automatic miss no matter what. But there are spells, so saving throws against spells that have more effect if you critically fail them versus just failing them. So that's part of that kind of check. Okay, so the second thing that I want to talk about is this other mechanic that we've got, which is the number of actions that a player gets in a turn. And we do this in encounter mode. So that's when you're going into an encounter and everybody's rolling initiative and there's going to be probably some combat. Then that's when we're in encounter mode. We're rolling initiative. So everybody gets 3 actions, and this is the whole economy for the whole game. It's 3 actions. Everybody gets 3 actions, and every action that you do costs a certain number of those actions. That's kind of redundant, I guess. So casting a spell is a type of action. Many times, casting a spell takes 2 of your 3 actions that you have. Moving, or also called stride, is an action. So if you stride, it costs you 1 of your 3 actions, and you move a certain amount. And you can keep striding. Striking is an action. There are some abilities that classes have that cost 2 actions or 3 actions. There's usually a bunch of things that happen with those. You could stride and attack and different things. But everybody has 3 actions, which means everybody can attack 3 times. Now, you don't get the same bonus every time you attack. There is an attack penalty based off of how many times you attacked. But everybody's got 3 actions. And opponent creatures and monsters and things, they all have 3 actions too. And very often you will get a creature that will run up to a player and attack them twice because they've got 3 actions. They stride and then they strike twice. And then they stay there. If they're there in the next turn, they can attack 3 times. And so it can get very deadly on top of that critical success mnemonic that's in this effect. Those creatures can whack you at that first attempt and get 10 over what your armor class is and crit hit you. They could do it again too if you roll lucky. Now, with the critical successes, I forgot to mention that if you roll a 20 and you add your bonus and that's a hit, that's automatically a critical success no matter what. If you roll a saving throw and you roll a 20, regardless of whether it's 10 or over, it's still a critical success. Okay, so we've got this crit mechanic of 10 or less or 10 or more. We've got the 3 action economy, and nobody really ever gets more than 3 actions. There's reactions and there's free actions, but there's 3 actions that every player gets. And maybe in a later video we'll talk about reactions and free actions. The other mechanic that I want to talk about is this other mechanic that I really, really like in Pathfinder 2nd Edition called the exploration mode. So when people are out of combat, you're able to do different things while you're exploring. You can only do one of them, but you can do them while you're exploring. So there's things like avoid notice. So the rogue could be sneaking. That's part of that. You make a stealth check. You could be defending. So the fighter could have their shield up. Now, one of the things I don't like about Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but it is something everybody has to deal with, is you don't automatically have your shield up all the time. And it takes an action to pull your shield up, so you get a benefit of a shield. But you could be defending. That means you walk into combat with your shield up. And it's basically for the fighters who don't have, the armed type who aren't as wise or as intelligent, and they don't have a whole lot to do outside of combat. They're not skill-based characters, so they can be defending. Then there's detect magic. So a arcane or a divine, whoever has to detect magic, could be casting that constantly all the time while out of combat. And then, when you tell the DM, I'm doing the detect magic exploration action, then the DM knows that if there's anything magical they've got to tell you about that. You can follow the expert. That's where people follow another player and they can aid them, or they can give a bonus, or they could be doing kind of the same skill as that player. And then the second part of this is we've got hustle, so you can move faster. We've got investigate. So instead of, you could be like looking for clues for things, not necessarily things out of order, but you could be looking at something to recall knowledge about it, to do something. You could be repeating a spell over and over and over again if you can. You could be scouting. So scouting gives a bonus to initiative, or you could be searching. So this is where you're actively looking for traps and things like that. So the rogue could say, I'm searching, and the other rogue or the ranger could say, I'm avoiding notice and sneaking. So I really like this mechanic. I think it adds a lot of flavor to the game, and it, I will always sit the table down, and when we're out of combat, I'll say, okay, what's everybody doing for their exploration activity? And then everybody will tell me, and I'll write it down so that I know, okay, this person is investigating, this person is searching, this person is scouting, this person is defending, and this person is detecting magic. So then I know. So and it helps for the party. It's a really good dynamic. It helps them work as a team, and each person can be doing something different outside of combat that really contributes to the overall success of the group. So, all right, that's all I got for today. So just a brief introduction about 3 different concepts, 3 different mechanical concepts of the game that I think are important. I give them an A+. I really like the flavor that they add, and I hope you like them too. So if you like this video, hit the like button down, and I will catch everybody later.